Welcome back alongside Zach Robinson. I'm Mike Renner, and today's Game of the Week is brought to you by Eckrich, the official smoked sausage of the Florida Gators.
Mike, it's also the official smoked sausage of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, really? Well, what a coincidence there, because they happen to be playing each other this week in the Game of the Week. Both teams coming off a bye, and we're going to break down some of the keys to the game, and the biggest key this coming into this one, in my opinion, could be the quarterback position. Both teams have played LSU in recent weeks. Georgia lost to them. Florida beat them a few weeks ago. Felipe Franks had one of his best games of the season, whereas Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm had one of his worst. Could be a problem in this one.
Yeah, no, I think both guys are going to have similar, keys to their game. It's going to be how they handle pressure and are they able to get some explosive plays down the field. I think Felipe Franks, we've seen his downfield arm, especially off of play action all season. It's been pretty good, but then you look at him under pressure, he struggled. Same thing for Jake Fromm. If he can hit some of those throws, he missed some throws early in that LSU game that kind of set them back, and he's the second least pressure passer in the SEC, sixth best passer rating in a clean pocket. His rating goes all the way down to 33.6 under pressure, so they kind of have some similar things, play well under pressure and hit some deep shots when you get a chance.
Yeah, and that's what Franks did against LSU. That's why they won that game. Had one of his higher graded games of the season, but Franks sort of doing the underneath intermediate stuff, far more inaccurate there, so that's why I don't think this is going to be a really pass-heavy game. I don't foresee either of these quarterbacks really, lighting it up through the air, so that's why I think the run game in this one, the line of scrimmage, might ultimately be what decides it. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, I think you look at that Georgia run game. They've been very solid all year. Last week they struggled a little bit when they finally faced a team at the point of attack that like LSU. So their offensive line has been the story all season. They have 709 yards before contact. That's second best in the SEC. And then DeAndre Swift, Elijah Holyfield, two-headed monster. They have 53 explosive runs, 10 or more, third best in the SEC. So if this Florida up front, they're going to really have to hold at the point of attack because Georgia has some guys that can really get downhill.
Yeah, the run game matchup really seems to favor Georgia in this one, especially offensive line run blocking. The grades of Georgia up front, fantastic. But what Florida doesn't have necessarily along the offensive line, along the defensive line, I think they make up for in just a handful of playmakers at the position. They send out Jordan Scarlett at you, who's broken 26 tackles on only 70 carries this season. That's one of the best rates in the country. Also, LaMichael Pirine getting a lot of touches. And don't count out Kadarius Toney, the dynamic wide receiver on jet sweeps, end arounds, big play threat whenever he gets the ball in his hand. So I think Florida can hold their own in that regard. What is the key matchup to this game, though? What one-on-one sort of matchup are we looking at?
Yeah, I think we're going to look at we talked about playing under pressure, and that's going to come down to the left tackle and right tackle of Georgia. You're looking at Andrew Thomas, Isaiah Wilson versus Ja'Kai Polite of Florida, the defensive pass rusher, third best grade in the country pass rushing. So he plays both sides. We saw the up front Georgia got beat a little bit last week against LSU. Gave up some more pressures than we're used to seeing, so I think that's definitely going to be the key matchup.
Yeah, Polite just moved up our draft board into the top 20. If you want to go check that out on ProFootballFocus.com. He had the big game against LSU, a big forced fumble in that one. If he has another one, this one could be a game changer. So there you have it. There's the Georgia-Florida matchup that we'll be watching. This week's breakdown was brought to you by Eckrich, the official smoked sausage of the Florida Gators and the Georgia Bulldogs. Don't forget to pick up your Eckrich smoked sausage at your local grocery store for this weekend's tailgate or homegate party. And make sure to visit EckrichFootball.com for great game day recipes and to enter the season-long $1 Million Challenge.